C.S. Lewis wrote something that still cuts through the noise. If you look for truth, you may get comfort in the end. If you look for comfort, you won't find either comfort or truth, and in the end, despair. This quote is psychologically accurate. Despair doesn't come from life being difficult. It arrives when the mind concludes nothing will change or help and nothing matters. Despair is the absence of movement. The nervous system freezes, energy suspends, possibility closes. And here's the paradox. Real joy is not the opposite of despair. It's what becomes available when movement returns. Not excitement or stimulation, but movement. Despair is the emotional state associated with apathy, which sits close to the bottom of David Hawkins' map of consciousness, just above shame and guilt. Despair happens after wearing yourself out with positive thinking when your life felt like a car crash. Forced gratitude while your nervous system was in a heightened state of arousal. Trying to convince yourself that everything was working out and the universe had a plan for you, while deep down feeling resentment towards people who seem to have a blessed life. Repeating affirmations of abundance while worrying if you'll be able to pay next month's rent. You grow tired of waiting, hoping and begging while the gap between where you are and where you want to be felt insurmountable. The hope you attached to outcomes was always outside of your control and eventually collapsed. Despair is the result of total burnout from trying, striving and forcing without realizing that reality always reflects who you are, not what you want. Many people think joy involves excitement and high energy. However, physiologically, the nervous system recognizes excitement and anxiety as almost indistinguishable. Both are future focused and involve waiting, bracing, and holding. Stable joy is different. Joy is what the nervous system experiences when it's safe enough to remain open, stable enough to remain present, regulated enough to allow experience to move through. Joy is a state that allows us to experience positive feelings, sometimes intense, without defense or trying to hold on. Radiance is what that regulation looks like from the outside. Not brightness, performance, or enthusiasm, the visible effect of inner stillness. Happiness, then, is a state of being that can be accessed internally, regardless of external circumstances. So instead of fighting despair, we accept and allow it to pass through us without attaching a narrative or getting caught up in a repetitive loop. When we do this consistently, freeze softens, energy returns, stillness stabilizes, radiance appears, and happiness becomes sustainable. Despair is like a kite with no string. It soars for a while with hope, with wanting, with the belief that things will change, but without something holding it, without something real to anchor it. Eventually the wind drops and the kite doesn't land gently. It falls broken, tangled. Hope without truth is a kite without string. Joy is different. Joy is the stillness at the center of the kite flyer. Not the kite rising and falling with every gust, but the person holding the string. Feet on the ground, hand steady, watching the movement but not being moved by it. That's radiance, not the flight, the stillness that holds the flight. Happiness isn't the kite soaring, it's knowing you're the one holding the string. Some of the most incredible creative talents throughout history would testify that desperation and rock-bottom despair are necessary ingredients for the creative process and essential for creating something unique, original, and priceless. So stop immediately seeking comfort, trying to make yourself feel better, reaching for the next thought that might rescue you. Instead, you might explore sitting still, feeling your feet, noticing your breath, allowing thoughts to rise and pass without judgment. You don't need to figure anything out right now. You don't need to manifest anything. You don't need to find happiness. Joy is our natural state, and like a cork in water, it re-emerges when we loosen our grip on controlling outcomes. And as you sit here now, you may give yourself permission to rest, to slow down, to allow your body to ease into relaxation. And you may begin to notice that even in stillness, there is subtle movement. Breath rising and falling. Nothing forced or pushed. You don't have to try or strive. Simply trust that everything unfolds in its own time, in its own perfect way. And in that softness, something begins to stir. Not excitement, just presence. Stillness becoming radiance effortlessly. Because joy was never somewhere else. It was always right here in this moment, waiting for you to stop chasing and start being.